Hello friends, this is Vishakha Daga coming up with next round of News Simplified. Now, it is said any institution is as strong, vibrant, and wise as its leadership. So, in order to keep the independence, autonomy, and good functioning of institution, it is important to have a good leadership. So, if leadership changes, then it becomes important for examination. And recently, with the promulgation of two ordinances by the president, the leadership or the tenure of the directors of CBI and Enforcement Directorate has been changed. So, in this video, we're going to discuss about those only. What are the changes that has been made? Like what is the ordinance? We'll discuss how CBI functions, its functions, and how director is being appointed. We'll also discuss about the Enforcement Directorate, and in the end of the video, we'll discuss what are the changes that are going to be made. Now, to understand how it will impact the position of directorate, we have a separate editorial video for this. You have to stay tuned for this. But first, now understand the position of the CBI directorate. But before moving to that, try to answer the question of the following question. Consider the following statement about the anti-corruption infrastructure of India. CBI is a statutory body set up under the DOPT as a premier investigative agency of India. This is statement 1. Statement 2, Enforcement Directorate is a premier body set up under the Department of Economic Affairs to maintain the financial integrity of the country. So there's two statements in front of you, but first of all, collect this. It is not set up, just change it. Instead of writing set up under, change the statement to currently working under. Okay, now think about it, whether the two statements are right or wrong. Now let's move ahead. Before actually you answer this question, let's understand the basics only. Now the president has actually promulgated ordinances which has extended the tenure of the director of the CBI and enforcement director from 2 years to 5 years. So this is clear. The current tenure of the director of CBI and enforcement director is 2 years. And the president has actually promulgated an ordinance which has increased the tenure from 2 to 5 years. Acha, what is ordinance? You should be clear in here. Ordinance is nothing. It is temporary legislative making power of the president. Okay, this is not a permanent but a temporary. That means it has a tenure of 6 months or something like that, whose detail I'm not discussing here, but it is only a temporary legislative making power of the president till parliament or state legislature come up with their own legislation. So it is only temporary, that is only for 6 months or something like that. Under this, the tenure of the director has been increased. So before understanding how it is going to happen, first let's understand the basics only. Going with CBI. What is CBI? CBI is the premier investigative agency of India. That means if there is a famous corruption case which is impacting the public interest at large, something which is scandalized, something which is very important, then in such cases, the investigation usually goes to the CBI. So it is a premier investigative agency which has to ensure the integrity of the character in the institution. And this was set up in 1963 on the recommendation of Santhanam Committee, because during independence, the integrity of leadership was very appreciated. But later on, it was questioned because of the various corruption cases, and because of which the Santhanam Committee was set up to give the recommendation to remove the corruption in the country. Santhanam Committee gave the two famous recommendations. Of all, two were very famous. That is, it asked the government of India to set up a Central Vigilance Commission and Central Bureau of Investigation. And both were set up accordingly. CBI was set up in 1963 and CVC was set up in 1964. Okay. Also keep in mind, CVC was later given statutory status in the beginning of early 2000. In the early 2000, CVC was given statutory status, but CBI has not received same status so far. So it is still a non-statutory body. Keep this in mind. This will answer your first question, that this is not a statutory body. It was set up by the resolution of Ministry of Home Affairs. A simple resolution was able to set up it. Okay, keep in mind, though it worked under Ministry of Home Affairs for some time, it is currently working under the administrative control of the Department of Personnel Training, Ministry of Personnel and Public Grievances. So this is actually ministry which is having the control over the CBI. Okay, and it derived its power from the DPSE Act of 1946, Delhi Police Establishment Act of 1946, which gives the power to the CBI. Now let's move ahead, understanding the provisions regarding the directorate. Earlier, the director of CBI was appointed under the DPSE Act of 1946, because of which the security of tenure was not available, and offer under the whims and fancies of the CBI, of the whims and fancies of the central government, the directors was changing. Because of which it was said that even Supreme Court judgment has called CBI as a cased parrot, which is working under the control of central government. Because of which the state government raised control that it is being used against state government. Opposition says it is being used to harass the people in the opposition. And overall, our anti-corruption infrastructure was under question. So as you said, leadership is very important. If leadership has integrity, entire CBI infrastructure is forced to maintain the integrity. So various steps were taken in order to provide the greater autonomy, independence to the director of CBI. And that include making changes in the Lokpal Act. By the Lokpal Act, now the independence was given to the CBI director at various stages. First stage is appointment. At the level of appointment, independence was to be ensured, and for that a committee was set up. A committee has to be set up to appoint the director of CBI, and that committee is made up of Prime Minister, leader of opposition, and CGI or the judge of Supreme Court nominated by CGI. So judge of Supreme Court is also there. However, later this provision was misused because leader of opposition is sometimes not available, especially if there is a majority government. Even the largest opposition party was not occupying the 10% of the seat, which is the definition of leader of opposition, at least to be recognized as recognized as opposition party. So party is recognized as major opposition party if it has at least 10% of the seats in Lok Sabha. But that was not happening. So by the DPSE Act, the amendment of the DPSE Act, this provision was changed. Now, instead of leader of opposition, the leader of largest party was to be appointed to this committee so that timely appointment can be taking place. Because of simple this provision, the late appointment was happening. So this was changed. Another change was brought by the CVC Act of 2013, by the amending the CVC Act, and by this the director was given the tenure of security of 2 years. At least 2 years security was provided, which was actually asked by Supreme Court in 1998 under Vineet Narayan judgment. Okay, so first safety is provided in the appointment phase. The second safety was provided under removal phase. Also, Supreme Court in Vineet Narayan case talked about that even at the level of transfer, a high-level committee need to have a consent. A consent should be taken from a high-level committee which is appointing them during the transfer as well. So attempt was made to provide the security of tenure, actually to provide the independence at appointment level, at removal level, and even at the transfer level. To the extent, Supreme Court even said, if someone in 2019 judgment, that if someone is to be nominated for the director of CBI and he does not have 6 months of residual period, that means he will be retired. His retirement age is due in 5 months, 4 months. So he does not even have a 6 month of residual tenure, then he should not be considered for the position of directorate. Because if someone has only 5 months remaining in the security of tenure, in that 5 months he will reach the age of 62. He has to retire. But now he is appointed by director of CBI. In such a case, 2-year extension will be given to him. So it is like a favor or merit which can be used against him later on. So this is how our attempt was made to provide the independence to the director of CBI. Later on, also understand that the functions of CBI was to ensure the integrity of the institutions, to reduce the corruption. So it is the main investigative agency of the country to the extent it has control over 69 Central Act, 18 State Act, and 231 Acts of the IPC it implements. Also, it provides the assistance to the Central Vigilance Commission, to the Lokpal as well, and both the act have the mandate for it. Also, it coordinates on behalf of Interpol member countries. Now, Interpol is like international police, where the police of the various countries integrate and coordinate with themselves to reduce international crime. On behalf, like in every country, one agency is being nominated. In India, it is CBI which is being nominated for the same purpose. Now, This was, we're done with CBI. Now let's move ahead to Enforcement Directorate. Enforcement Directorate is also an anti-corruption body of India, but its matter is generally limited to the financial integrity. So that means it look into the financial matter. So it is a financial matter that matters to them, right? This was set up in 1946 under the name of Enforcement Unit. Later, the name was changed to Enforcement Directorate in 1957. So in 1956, when it was set up under Department of Economic Affairs, Ministry of Finance. Later on in 1956, it was shifted to Department of Revenue, Ministry of Finance. So ministry is same, unlike in CBI, where from Ministry of Home Affairs, we went to DOPT. Here, ministry is Ministry of Finance only. However, it is actually Department of Revenue, which is actually controlling the Enforcement Directorate. Okay, let's move ahead. And let's understand what is the function of Enforcement Directorate. Since it is a premier body maintaining the financial integrity, it implements several acts like Foreign Exchange Management Act of 1999. So it ensures that any kind of corruption is not taking place in foreign exchange market, especially while dealing with the foreign exchange, foreign currency and Indian currency. To the extent it even attempt to prevent the smuggling of the articles and even misuse of the misuse of Indian currency. So it is its mandate, Enforcement Directorate. Second, it also implement the Prevention of Money Laundering Act. So it goes against the money laundering. Also, a real known fact is that under Economic Offenders Act, it is Enforcement Directorate which actually built the case against a fugitive. It processed the case against a fugitive. So a case against a fugitive is being built by the Enforcement Directorate. So it is its different function. Now let's move ahead and understand what the news is about. Because now you've understood the CBI, you've understood the Enforcement Directorate. The remaining function is to understand what are the changes that are being made. As I said earlier, under the previous provisions, the director of the CBI and Enforcement Director were given the security of tenure of 2 years. That means at least for 2 years they are appointed. But now, by the changes, now this tenure can be extended by 1 year each. Every year, 1 year extension can be given to a directorate if central government consider that the person has acted in public interest. If central government think the person has acted in public interest, now in such a case, an extension of 1 year can be given. And this can take place till 5 years. That means only for 5 years this can happen. That include initial term that he had served. So now a total for 5 years a person can serve in CBI or Enforcement Director as a director. And okay, so person can serve as a director for 5 years from 2 years, with each year 1 year extension, which is the discretion of central government. This discretion word is actually very problematic. However, so the government is saying that this will not be done solely under the discretion of central government. This will be done on the recommendation of appointing committee here. Like in case of CBI, it was Prime Minister, Leader of Opposition and Chief Justice of India. In case of Enforcement Directorate, it is CVC Chief and the Secretary of the Home and Revenue. So Revenue and Home Secretary, these are the committees that will recommend the extension of tenure. To implement this, the changes are being made in the Delhi Special Police Establishment Act for the CBI and in Surveillance Vigilance Commission Act of 2003 for the Enforcement Directorate. So this was understanding news, that what are the changes that are taking place. Now what will your implications will be discussed in a separate editorial. Stay tuned to it in order to understand the repercussions of the entire news. But before ending this, just try to give me the answer to the given question. Consider the following statement about the anti-corruption infrastructure of India. CBI is a statutory body set up under the DOPT as a premier investigative agency. Now, as I said and discussed in the beginning itself, the CBI is not a statutory body, so the statement 1 is wrong. Statement 2, Enforcement Directorate is premier body set up as, I asked you to change the statement, currently working under. Okay, now you know the Enforcement Directorate is not currently working under Department of Economic Affairs, instead Department of Revenue. So the statement is wrong here. So both the statements are incorrect. So by initial understanding, little bit of understanding, you can easily solve the question. Now, if the video was helpful to you, you're supposed to like and subscribe. If not, put your doubts in the comment section. Thank you so much.
Current Affairs by Forum IAS is an all-in-one program that covers the dynamic aspect of the syllabus from both prelims and mains perspectives. Last year, we have helped more than 100 students crack IAS with our current affairs classes.